As you can see, this place is a sty, and I'm in the middle of several projects right now. One, restoring a dresser, well, actually modifying a dresser for my wife to go in the house, adding longer legs, ornamental legs in the front and extending the legs in the back. So this is parked in here right now, taking up valuable real estate for the rest of everything that I'm working on. I had a few procurements over the holidays. I got a new 110 MIG, a new old 110 MIG, so now I might have some welding in the shop. I did get an acetylene kit, torch kit, no tanks yet, which is the most expensive part of the whole thing. So it's not very cheap to get into acetylene. And I didn't realize that because it used to be one of the cheapest things back in the day. Now it's 3D printing that's the cheapest thing to get into. So I'm in the middle of several projects right now, and I want to just give an update on that. And I also wanted to talk about controversy. Well, actually not controversy, but opinionated stances on the internet and clickbait and things like that. I just had it in my mind, and so I want to do a shop update and talk about that to a certain degree. And I think people deserve to hear my thoughts if they want to. So, you know, if you click away from this video because you're bored already, I get it, no worries. But for those interested, I'm going to talk about all the things that are coming up, plus videos on YouTube and which ones are successful, which ones aren't, and my opinion and stance on that. Obviously, I've got a huge mess. I'm working on a CNC review for Wismaker for an Artisan 01. First review went pretty well. I'm still doing some troubleshooting on this thing right now, so I'm working on that. And I have a nice Raspberry Pi CNC controller I rigged up to interface with that, so I can control feeds and speeds and upload G-code to the machine and all that kind of stuff, and monitor three-dimensionally what's going on while it's machining. So I've gotten some new cool technology in the shop right now. Still trying to get that going. I've got the dresser, and then I'm also working on a medieval tool wall that'll be posted sometime this spring, which I'm trying to get done. Life gets in the way. There's just no time these days. So the shop is a congested, absolute mess, and I'm not happy about it, but I'm working on it one bit at a time. The worst thing to do would be just to give up and not come back in here. So I only really feel whole when I'm in here. Like the creativity, the making, all that good stuff in here is exactly why I do this for the channel. It's exactly what means something to me. Despite the mess, there's a huge meaning, personal meaning and personal fulfillment in here, even though it's a cacophony of projects, a visual cacophony of projects. I think that's an Adam Savageism. It's a visual cacophony in here, and it is a mess. And I'm trying to get this 16 by 25 space better. So I got to shoehorn things in. I got to put in some more organization. I had to get some projects out of the way, and then I can finally get somewhere. But time is always my enemy. And so I'm balancing that. Balancing work, balancing family, and all that kind of stuff. So it's just kind of a mess right now. So the organizers have worked pretty well for the shop. Like the steel organizers for the clamps has been absolutely wonderful. And I love the steel durability versus the 3D printing. Part of being an engineer is finding out and learning how to do things and finding solutions, because you have to admit you don't know everything, which I think a good engineer does. I don't know everything about 3D printers, and I honestly hate the tinkering of trying to get the persnickety materials to do what I want. I would rather have a bamboo that I could just plug and play and get the thing to print whatever I want, so I can get to the actual installation and usage of the device versus tinkering with a machine for days on end, just trying to get a print to not turn into spaghetti. Steel is my game, and I really enjoy that. And I do think longevity-wise, I'm going to really be thankful for those being here, because I'm never gonna have to worry about them again. And hats off to you guys for being very adamant about your 3D printing, but I don't know if it's for me all the time, especially for functional objects. I've done some functional objects, like say this cup over here for holding pencils, excellent. And I've done, ooh, I got another thing. I've done, what is this for, a guy? Magma Worm from Elden Ring, which I was working on for the haunted 3D printer video. I plan on finishing this, and 3D printing is very good for this. This is awesome. I can do sculptures with it. I can paint it and make some models. I even did the Sauron helmet, which tried to scale to my head, but couldn't quite work. But I fully plan on finishing the horns on this and having these things on display in my shop. This kind of stuff is fantastic for it. So I love 3D printing, but it is a mixed bag, and I think that decision making on when to use it should be more discretionary, if that makes sense. Choosing the right material for the job is a very personal choice sometimes, but it is a functional choice, and I think there are better materials than 3D printing for a lot of things it's being used for right now. And visually speaking, it looks great, but it is not functional for very long. It's great for prototyping. It's great for rapid prototyping and testing designs and doing stuff, but functional is pushing it, and I know that we're getting better as we go, and I do think we need to have people out there pushing its limits so that we can get somewhere with it. And anyway, sorry that's a rant on 3D printing. It's the new fad going on, and I get tired of seeing everybody saying it's this miracle thing when it doesn't necessarily solve all the problems. And so it's severely overinflated in my mind. And that's my opinion. And I welcome you to post yours in the comments. I think it's a very great tool. It can be used for a lot of things, but I think it's only great for certain things, and I think you should be selective in what you use it for. I will have a video coming up about that, and it'll probably take a lot of people off, and that leads me into one of the things I wanted to talk about. In my Fusion is a waste of your time video, people have accused me of being clickbait with it, and I could see their point. I get it, and I understand. YouTube is a fickle game, and I am trying to lure you in to watch my videos because, you know, who wants to watch some boring guy on the internet? You know, you got to do something to get you here. And, you know, I guess potentially you could feel duped, and that was not my intention. It is actually my opinion that Fusion could be a waste of your time because you need to open your mind and expand and see the other choices and fully consider them. Just because it's the easiest one to get into doesn't mean it's the best, and maybe not the best for you, and you should be always open for that. And that's something that I really want to push, is that if you try other things and then come back to it, then at least you've sampled and figured out what's right for you. Is Fusion bad? No. But I think it's a waste of time for some people because there are better options out there and you should fully consider them. So clickbait or not, it got you here, and it was more to try and get you to open your horizons. And I want all makers to consider different ways of making and to get somewhere with it and fully improve by not hedging yourself in and pigeonholing yourself into one way of doing things. The same thing with 3D printing. There's a whole community online right now that's all in for 3D printing, and that is phenomenal. I love the community. It's great. I love seeing the innovations that come out of that, and you see things that are pushing what they do, what you can do with it, and that is what we need, because eventually it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. And there are industrial machines that are more expensive that can accomplish a lot more right now, and even the Bamboo X1 or other newer printers they have, I don't keep up with it completely, are getting close to the type of quality printing that these industrial $40,000+ machines can do. And so as we push the boundaries and reach the technology and expand, we can get into more usefulness as we go. So we need people pushing those boundaries, but we also need to acknowledge its limits. It's kind of this thing where I see people getting in a rut, and I want to challenge the status quo. I want you to think about things in a little more educated manner, and I want you to really just expand your mind. I want you to really think about it. And a good maker that's trying to get better over time throughout their life will consider new and exciting ideas and get there naturally and progress. And I don't want you to be just a 3D printer for the rest of your life. Metal may be your bet. Casting may be your bet. Plaster may be your bet. Cardboard may be your bet. Woodworking. There's a group mentality to it all where, you know, you have this critical mass of an idea. Like Fusion is great because it was first on the scene for many years and everybody uses it, so it must be great. So it keeps looking like it's great. It's kind of like it just can't help but be attractive to people because everybody's used it for so long. But other options are on the scene now, and newer doesn't necessarily equal better, but you can at least consider it and maybe change how you work. And it's not necessarily a bad thing to learn multiple CAD systems. I use multiple all the time. I can't really actually commit to one for me. It's going to depend on that moment, which one works and which one doesn't. I just did a dragon shield model to carve on this CNC desktop that I have now, and I drew most of it to start by hand on paper, scanned it in, traced it in CAD-wise in AutoCAD, and then I took it from AutoCAD, the DWG, imported it into Fusion at first. It choked on it. It couldn't import the geometry from AutoCAD, even though everything's fully defined and closed contour profile. And then I put it into Onshape, which actually worked. So, you know, sometimes they're not all they're cracked up to be. They could have idiosyncrasies. I had an organic drawing that challenged Fusion's import capabilities, and it couldn't do it. And I don't like drawing, this is a personal preference, but I don't like drawing signs or organic things or artistic things in parametric modelers because their sketches are so flexible and they change due to their constraints within the sketch. I like to draw a point and it stay there, and then I'll trim it and I'll move it whenever I want to move it. It just keeps it very rigid so I can define it myself instead of being affected by tangential or perpendicular constraints that are within the drawing, and it always wants to shift everything around whenever you try to creatively move stuff. It's sketchy, literally. If you can't import a basic DWG well, sometimes the geometry is complex and sometimes certain programs can't handle it. I very well could have had issues in Onshape and had to import it in Fusion. I very well could have had a problem with Fusion and had to import it in SolidWorks. I don't know. It's all over the place. So you have to use what works. Situation demands what works. So clickbait. Do I like it? No. Is it stupid? Yes. Did I intend to do it? No. It was my actual opinion, and I think that's credible to a certain degree, and you can think about it and deliberate whether you believe me or not. I want everybody to be better makers, and I really do mean that. I want to inspire people to try new things and to improve constantly, because we need more makers in society, and I think we need to build more people who are capable to do things, because we have several skills that are dying, like machinists are retiring out, welders are kind of there, but they might be fading a little bit too. Like the trades are kind of fading to a certain degree as far as making is concerned. I'm seeing it in the industries now that I'm in, like manufacturing and everything. And as soon as they retire out, we won't have anybody. And whether you want to go work in that environment or not is up to you, but the ability and knowledge needs to keep going and facilitating everybody to know how to make things. And I think it's a viable thing for the everyday person to know. And I think you should learn, and I think you should really, it makes you a more well-rounded person, it makes you capable, and it also gives you the ability to fix things when they break in your life, so you don't have to pay an exorbitant price and feel trapped by your money. It's a lot of things. So it has informed my life, it's made me well-rounded, at least so I hope. Jury's out. The ability to fix and make things has not only inspired my imagination, but it's also helped me with my practical things around the house and keeping my life going and keeping things smooth and being able to fix things myself. That's the main lesson for takeaway, is just don't limit yourself. Like try to expand your horizons, try to do new things. Like we have such limiting information these days. Learning is very much in short supply. I think you should try to continue learning for the rest of your life. Don't stop. Don't stop. Just keep trying to be curious, keep trying to learn new things, keep investigating, and learn the nuances of those things as long as your curiosity survives to try and figure things out. It's something we all should do, and something the average person should do as well, learn other things. But in making specifically, you got to keep going. You got to keep trying. You got to keep making. I've thought a lot about how I could express a little bit more of an opinion on these things here. I don't know if all of it comes across in the videos that I'm doing, and sometimes just talking and hashing it out is a good thing. So hopefully this is an interesting talk. I want this to be an episode of my podcast, and so I want to spread ideas, and it's kind of hard to talk about or articulate more elaborate ideas in an edited video because you got to be artsy and try to do other things. So I like to do that, don't get me wrong. That's actually why I do this, because I like it to be creative and do some fun things. But I'm also wanting to try to convey real information to people so that you can use it and hopefully inspire you to do good things. Because I want to see more people do good things. I want to see you expand. I want to see you learn, and I want to build a community. I think I've said that before, but I really do. Like, I think there's a lot of people out there that do great things, and I think we should connect with each other and talk about it and share ideas and learn from each other. And it could be one of the greatest strengths we have. So let me know if you like this format. I just kind of want to have a frank discussion every now and then and give you guys an idea of what's going on. And I think it's important, and without any hype, just let you know, hey, this is how life is, and this is what's going on, and this is what's coming. If you made it this far, thanks for watching, and keep trying to be a better maker, and look out for more videos in the near future. Thank you very much.